Anyway. Alright. Kids everywhere getting fatter? What? No way. Eating sugary fruit snacks and your parents giving you Coca-Cola? No way. Saying it so makes you fat? Ugh.
1 in 10 children.
Yeah, because Coca-Cola, like, wants to expand in there. This is a funny, but not so funny fun fact. In a town in Mexico, they quite literally worship Coca-Cola, and everybody drinks Coca-Cola all the time. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's like a cult. It's easy money, easy profit.
Who's to blame? And
Mexican Coca-Cola uses natural sugar, though. I don't know how to break it to you, but it doesn't matter if it's natural sugar for you. If you consume a lot of sugar, even if it's natural or fructose or corn syrup or whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter, because if you consume a lot of it, it makes you fat and it gives you diabetes and it makes your teeth rot. It doesn't matter. It's still bad. It's bad for your teeth.
how did this happen? And spoiler alert, UNICEF directly blames the food industry. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about today. I can't wait to tell you what Kellogg's is up to in Africa these days. We're gonna talk about the
building a presence in Africa. We gotta sell them our crappy food.
With ramen noodles taking over the world, and why how the food industry is destroying the health of kids. But yeah, hopefully we can do it in a chill way so that doesn't ruin your day. But first, a message to lighten up your day from our sponsor, Foreo. Eating healthy food,
Indomie is tasty. It is, but it's so bad
what about
for you.
Skincare? I'm a skincare junkie. I have a very elaborate routine, and one of my absolute favorite parts of it is my red light therapy mask. The science.
She's turning into a super
Q202, another Foreo bestsellers.
Do they have anything for the top of my head for hair growth? Aww, maybe.
Click the link below and don't forget to use my code 30Kiana for an extra 30% off on almost all Foreo products. This code also applies to already discounted items, so you'll get an extra
Power
30%
Ranger
off.
helmets.
Thanks again to Foreo for sponsoring today's video.
Thanks, Foreo.
Oh, at last, sweet, delicious tricks.
Oh
so this is a commercial from 1987. It's fun, it's colorful, and it's marketing little...
I've said this before, my favorite childhood cereal of all time were the Frosted Flakes branded chocolate-filled orange tiger striped cereal. I forget the name. I loved those so much. I went through... I think it was 2 boxes in like 2 weeks, and my parents noticed and they stopped buying it, and I was super pissed. Yeah, it was Crave. Oh my god, it was so good.
Sugar Pucks as
they stopped buying it because I was so addicted to it, and they started making me eat
breakfast
oatmeal.
of choice in the USA and beyond, particularly for young children. You turn on the TV and watch your Saturday morning cartoons with a big bowl of cereal. And if you were lucky, your cereal would have come from a box that also happened to have cartoons on it. The food industry got kids hooked on cereal through fun mascots that felt just like the TV shows that they spent their weekends obsessed with. There was Trick cereal with, I don't know if he has a name, but you know the rabbit. Lucky Charms and Lucky the leprechaun.
Did any of you guys do this where you had to have the perfect amount of like milk left over, not too much, not too little, where it soaked a little bit of the cereal? Like, it can't be like a lot of milk left over. It has to be like the perfect amount. It can't be like, you know, half the bowl of milk. It's got like it's got to be a little bit of the bottom, and it's like sugary and chocolatey or like candy-y because it's all sugary.
Or Sir Charms if you live in the UK. Rice Krispies had Snap, Crackle, and Pop. For sure. Honeycomb had Crazy Craving. Okay.
I did not like Honeycomb. I thought it was too sweet.
This guy. There was Frosted Flakes and Tony the Tiger. Fruit Loops had Toucan Sam. Count Chocula had Count Chocula. Captain Crunch had Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch. And Cocoa Puffs had Sunny the Cuckoo Bird.
I liked
all
Cocoa
of these cereals
Puffs too.
utilize cute and cuddly cartoon mascots to peddle junk food as breakfast to
My
children.
parents were good parents, though. When they realized I was getting addicted, like, they just stopped. And by the way, not a fat kid. Like, scary, actually. But my parents stopped immediately. They were like, oh, Alana's getting sugary addicted to this shit. Nah, we're cutting that shit out.
But to help make sure that moms were also on board with breakfast
Cookie
things
Crisp
like
were so
Frosted
good
Flakes,
too, you're right.
the cereal companies would make claims like source of 7 vitamins and minerals, and no artificial flavors or colors, and who can forget part of a balanced breakfast.
Oh,
Circus
yeah.
Fun, a spectacular part of this complete breakfast.
Now, I think in 2025 and beyond,
We bought it too. We bought into that shit.
most of us know now that we were getting tricked. It's become very, very obvious that sugary, colorful cereal was probably never the best breakfast option for kids, and that all the claims about whole grains and vitamins and minerals, they were just marketing. Now, you think that would be obvious, but it really
And they would include the milk too that you put the cereal in. They'd be like, oh, great source of vitamin D. And it's like, yeah, most of it's from the fucking milk you put in there.
was not that obvious back then. We had to learn from our mistakes as a society. But this is really just one example of how childhood and junk food in the Western world have been pretty tightly linked for a long time. The 90s childhood, the 80s childhood, the 2000s childhood was a constant flow of junk food ads and new kids' junk food innovations. Kool-Aid comes to mind immediately. The food industry had 90s kids chugging Kool-Aid. And honestly,
I was not a Kool-Aid kid. I was a Capri Sun kid. My parents bought me Capri Sun. I don't think Kool-Aid was big in Europe. When I was a kid, my parents would sometimes buy me Capri Sun. And again, they realized I drank it too often and they were like, we're not going to buy it that much anymore. We're just going to have it like as a treat.
All forms of juice. That was such a big thing.
I was
back
not a
then.
Kool-Aid
Sunny
kid.
D, Capri
Not a
Sun.
CD.
There were also all those snacks.
Oh my God, this tropical packaging. Oh my Lord.
All those snacks that were meant to go in a child's lunchbox. These things are still around, but they really snapped off during that time period. Okay, Dunkaroos, for example, Fruit by the Foot, Go-Gurt, Gushers, and of course,
my parents loved me, dude. They still love me, but like, oh my God, my parents were like, yeah, the Go-Gurt, it's yogurt, it's good for you. That's a good joke, Mom and Dad. You didn't know. My parents aren't stupid, but like they market it as like this healthy thing. Like Go-Gurts were supposed to be like a healthy thing.
Lunchables. And there's also, of course, the whole Happy Meal and Play Place situation. Also, do you remember Bookit, that Pizza Hut personal pan pizza thing, where elementary school kids would be bribed to read more books with a free tiny pizza from Pizza?
Oh my God, you Americans. Damn. Now you read your book, eat your Pizza Hut. No, I can't relate, but sure.
Pizza Hut. Actually, I found out that still exists. The Bookit program.
What?
Bookit is a free reading incentive program for children in pre-K through 6th grade. It's a whole app now where kids earn Pizza Hut pizza for reading books and then tracking it in an app.
Oh my God, and then they get your kids' data too, so it's like a win-win, dude.
And I know some people
way
are probably
more
like,
out of it though.
That's nice of them at least. No, it's not. My boyfriend was like, well, you know what? It's not that bad. I was like, no, it's bad. It's creepy. Junk food companies should not be communicating with children. This app is just a Trojan horse to get their food advertising into schools in a
Oh my God, and then your kid is crying and pissing and shitting their pants because they want pizza. When my parents took away my Crave Kellogg's, I was so pissed. They didn't even compromise. They said, Alana, you have to get another cereal. This one is too sugary. And I was like freaking out. And they finally compromised on getting me Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, they let me have Cocoa Puffs instead of Crave because it was slightly less sugary. Slightly.
Friendly way. And actually, Pizza Hut is owned by Yum Brands, which also owns Taco Bell and KFC. So the app is just a way for them to collect data on small young children for their 3 fast food brands. So yeah, whenever I hear that the childhood obesity rate in the USA or Canada or the UK has climbed up a percentage point, I mean, I'm sad about it, but I'm not particularly shocked. No. However, when I hear that this is happening to kids around the world, to very young children in countries that are still struggling with starvation, now I'm confused. Now I'm like, what the heck is going on? As I mentioned earlier, nearly 1 in 10 school-aged children worldwide are obese,
not
according to this UNICEF report. And over the last few years,
not Amerifats.
Childhood obesity has been growing all over the world. But the fastest growth in numbers is not happening here at home. But quote, the steepest increases of overweight and obesity are occurring in low and middle income countries, which now account for more than 80% of all children and adolescents living with this worldwide. 80% of the obese and overweight kids around the world are located not in Canada and the USA and all the other countries like that, not in the developed world. How insane is that? Think about
I already kind of know the answer to this. It's because they market something that's cheaper than like actually like getting food or making it yourself. For example, with the Coca-Cola town that I was talking about in Mexico, buying a bottle of water there is more expensive than buying what is it called, a Coca-Cola, glass thing, like a glass of bottle. It's impressive. And then they say like, oh, we're just doing this to help them because they have like lack of food or lack of water. It's like, yeah, the Coke is actually cheaper than a bottle of water at the store.
Trajectory of these countries. You would think we would go like starvation, then hunger, then like thriving, balance kind of thing. Not too much, not too little. Then we go to overweight, then we go to obese, right? You think there would be a slow process. But these countries
starve a population for 50 plus years, then be mad they eat all the food when available when offered. That's not why. That you do not know how evil corporations are. That is not why they're doing it. They're making money off of them. They're training them and saying, here you go, here's a bottle of water. Oh, look, there's a Coca-Cola. Which one tastes better? Oh, the Coca-Cola, and it's cheaper? Yeah, obviously. No, it's not about availability.
Are going starvation, obesity. Think about how bizarre that is. Let me just read some more of this UNICEF report off verbatim because it is actually so intense. Shifting burdens from underweight to obesity. The nutrition landscape is undergoing a significant and alarming transition.
Street cats do the same thing. Oh, it's a good thing we're not fucking street cats as human beings. I think we're talking on two different levels here. I don't think you understand what I'm putting down.
In 2025, a historic turning point was reached. Obesity among 5 to 19-year-olds surpassed underweight for the first time. 9.4% versus 9.2%. This marks a profound shift, one that signals the urgency to rethink how we protect children's diets and health. So on one hand, we're eradicating world hunger.
Yay!
On the other hand, we're replacing it with a new problem. And if you're wondering...
They're not giving you bread to eat. They're giving you fast food that has addictive qualities. It's high in sugar, high in sodium. You want to chug that and chase that down with a Coca-Cola. Why? This didn't blow my mind, but I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. When I was a kid, I found out that the reason why they make McDonald's fries and like other fries so salty is because when they give you a meal, they want you to associate it in your brain that you need to chase it with a sugary drink because it's like a good contrast of your like taste buds getting overloaded, and you get addicted to that feeling, and that's why you go back. It's the same reason why they make Big Macs and everything else look so good in the advertisements, because when you see it, you're activating your brain into thinking like, oh shit, I need to get this, because you're like remembering how it tastes at the time, which is really salty, and salty is a really good factor for getting people into the door at your restaurant. I never get a drink when I get fast food. I know, but they offer you combos. That's why combos are cheaper than getting each thing individually as well. That's another way that they get you in the door. Did you know that buying a combo as a combo is cheaper than buying each individual thing and not labeling as a combo? So if you get a burger and fries, it's more expensive than getting a combo most of the time.
Why? Well, this UNICEF report
for the same size
is very clear about what the problem is, and the problem is the food. Now you might be thinking, I mean, duh, it has to be the food. But usually these reports will say things like, we don't know, it's the modern lifestyle. We're sedentary, too many calories, we spend too much time indoors, we don't know for sure, we just know that there's a problem. But this time UNICEF was like, no. It's the food, actually. Ultra-processed food, UPF, is increasingly replacing fruits, vegetables, and protein at a time when nutrition plays a critical role in children's growth, cognitive development, and mental health. And significantly, not only does a UNICEF report call out the food, but the companies that sell it too. The UNICEF report says that the food industry, exploits children, even in times of crisis, and manipulates children's
frick them kids, bro.
Food environments, all for the purpose of profit maximization.
Yes.
So let's talk about how this happens.
You get them as a lifelong customer. You get them addicted at like age 8 or 7, and then it's over. Do you know how hard it is to like break a habit that forms as a child, like psychologically speaking?
And how we got here. Well, let's bring it back to the cereal.
Best time.
Remember all those cereal mascots we talked about? Well, they've already been around since like the 1930s or in the 1940s. And I say this because these companies, such as, let's name them, such as Kellogg's, Nestle, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Unilever, Yum Brands, McDonald's, Mondelez, Kraft Heinz, and more. These are some of the major names that make up what we consider to be the food industry.
And they're all connected. Gee willikers, I wonder why. That's crazy. McDonald's, by the way, is not even as big as Coca-Cola. Do you see that shit? McDonald's is like smaller than Ferrero Rocher. The guys that make the chocolates, those little, little golden thingies. Isn't that insane to think about? Like how we think like McDonald's is supposed to be like a fast food giant. And then they just don't even look in comparison to like a Kellogg and like Mars and PepsiCo.
Or more appropriately at this point, the ultra-processed food industry, which is basically how
Wait, there's an ultra-processed? What's the process then? What's that?
UNICEF report refers to them. Now, these companies have already had their tentacles into us here for a very long time, to the point that our diet here in the developed world is now over 80% ultra-processed foods. Now, I'm sure the food industry is going to swing for that other 20%. But these companies realized a long time ago now that if they want to keep growing the way they have been, the developed world just isn't going to cut it anymore. These companies don't just want to grow by 1% or 2% per year. They need more than that to feed their...
Bacon equals processed. Hot dog is ultra-processed. Huh. Right, so you take like a meat product and then you make it into a product out of it. Okay. But is that like for all processed food? Like a sausage is a processed food, not just a hot dog? I mean, hot dogs are amazing, but super duper processed.
Shareholders. So what did these companies do? About 20 years ago, they set their sights on the developing world. For the last 20 years, the ultra-processed food industry has been aggressively flooding these countries with fast food. Sugary sodas, pizzas, fried chicken, and more. So very, very quickly, people in the developing world went from eating their traditional diets of vegetables, beans, meats, fruits. They went from that to the standard American diet in a very short period of time, like being hit with a damn freight truck of junk food. And what do you know? The standard American diet shows up and people suddenly start becoming obese. Kellogg's, for example, has recently become the largest food company in Nigeria. To quote their CEO, Stephen A. Kahalani, Africa really is a fantastic business for us.
I live in cyberpunk. Yeah, this underdeveloped African country, it's really good for business. They really love our ultra-processed, delicious food. Yeah.
Now, Kellogg's journey into Africa, of course, started with cereal. Cornflakes, to be exact, though over there, Kellogg's refers to them as Mom's Original Kellogg's Cornflakes. Obviously, to give them a more wholesome vibe. And guess what? So according to this foodbusinessnews.net article that I found, at first, people in Africa, they didn't even eat cereal for breakfast. Like, that whole concept was completely foreign to them. So the CEO, Kahalani, was quoted as saying that Kellogg's had to, really develop the habit.
Well, neither did people. Like, back in the day, like, whenever Kellogg's came around, like, people didn't really eat cereal, like maybe oats and like a piece of bread. And like man, we watched another video that kind of talked about like the development of breakfast in like the Western world. It wasn't really a thing. Like, this whole American breakfast and British breakfast thing, it didn't come around until like what, the 19th 18th century. It came in pretty late.
Breakfast cereal in order to get people there to eat it. In other words, Kellogg's changed the eating habits of the entire continent of Africa in order to sell their cereal. People didn't eat cereal before. That was weird to them. But Kellogg's convinced them to start eating cereal with
breakfast time is Kellogg's time. Breakfast time is Kellogg's time. Breakfast time is Kellogg's time. These are real people, by the way. This is crazy. Actual bots. Like, you guys ever think like, oh, I'm so bad, I'm like typing in chat and just like everyone else when Alana says something stupid and I say and everybody else says This is 1,000,000 times worse than that. Like 1,000,000 times.
Milk for breakfast. That is a big deal.
Breakfast
that is how these companies operate and what makes them so dangerous.
Look at you go.
They're like, this entire continent doesn't eat cereal. Now they do. The food industry doesn't just sell products. They change behavior where it suits them. But still, cereal is not Kellogg's biggest moneymaker over there. Kellogg's Nigeria also sells Pringles, which are
I didn't know Kellogg's made Pringles.
Expensive luxury Western item for all my seed oil haters. Something they call power oil.
Power oil.
It comes in 5 different sizes. Emperor oil, another vegetable oil that seems to be like fluorescent yellow. A Cheeto-like product called Munch It, which actually basically promises...
That looks good though. Like low-key, I want to try that. It's time to go to Nigeria.
...is to addict you to it. You just can't stop yourself from munching on it as you go. 1 munch, 2 munch, nonstop munch. But guess what Kellogg's biggest moneymaker is? I think this...
Biggest moneymaker in Nigeria. Biggest moneymaker in Nigeria. Food related. Biggest moneymaker in Nigeria. Is it some sort of meat product or something? Water? Does Kellogg sell water? Noodles? Ooh, macaroni or something?
Might actually be like the most popular ultra-processed food worldwide. It's noodles. You know, like
fucking A.
Ramen noodles. Those cheap little noodle packs.
Oh, ramen noodles. I was thinking like macaroni noodles.
Loved in some version in almost every country in the world. Yeah, Kellogg's is the #2 noodle brand in all of Africa with a product they call Kellogg's Noodles. And Kellogg's also makes money off the #1 noodle brand in all of Africa, Indomie. By the way,
Indomie is huge. Like, I know about Indomie. Like, I bought this stuff in bulk.
Kellogg's doesn't own Indomie, but they bought 50% of the company that distributes Indomie in Africa, and therefore they make money off the sale of Indomie without owning it. So 50% they also don't own those oils and the snacks, but same thing, they have 50% of the company in Africa that does. Anyway, Indomie instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Good for you.
Indomie in Nigeria sells several different local flavors.
Crayfish, jollof chicken. Wait, these actually sound good, dude. God damn, I want this.
And they come in several different sizes. Standard pack, super pack, hungry man,
super duper hungry man,
and belly full. But fuck! The mother brand for the Indomie family is the Indomitables pack. It is the favorite SKU of kids, quote, and it features the Indomitables, which are these noodle-based superheroes.
Oh, it's like the Incredibles.
This company uses to get kids obsessed with noodles. But more on that in a minute. Yeah, so
it's
Indomie
literally
noodles
the
are so popular in Nigeria that they're sometimes called Nigeria's national dish.
And in Nigeria alone, over 4.5 billion packs are consumed every year and embedded itself so deeply into culture that it's no longer seen as foreign. This is how Indomie became Nigeria's national
Yeah, like that wasn't their thing. Indomie came from Asia.
dish.
That kind of blew my mind when I heard it because think about how crazy that is, okay? Nigeria is a country historically known for dishes like jollof rice and chicken. They're big into stews,
I want plantains.
Soups, bean-heavy dishes.
Ooh, this looks good too.
These are their traditional foods. Yet suddenly
people
are calling Indomie noodles Nigeria's national dish. That doesn't happen by accident. That is how powerful the food industry and all of its marketing power is. And here's the problem with Indomie.
The brainwashing. This is another fun fact. I remember watching a video on how Oh, it was in Japan. They didn't really drink coffee, and then they really wanted to get into the coffee market industry because it's like a gap in Japan. And what they did over a generation is they had coffee flavored candies that they gave out to children because the adults didn't want to like eat them, right? And then those kids grew up to enjoy coffee candy, and then they were like, "Oh shit, coffee candy! I guess I'll try some coffee." And that's how they got into it. Yeah, like they couldn't break into the industry because they all love tea so much. Like, yeah, they get them young, they get them early. Look it up. I'm serious. It's like 100% true.
Noodles. These noodles are a classic ultra-processed food. They're basically just extremely refined carbohydrates and palm oil. That's it. They're also deep-fried, so they're highly inflammatory. They're not filling at all, so kids are likely to be hungry later or overeat.
Look at that fucking sodium! Oh my god! Oh my god, I gotta look it up. How much sodium is in a Big Mac? Oh my god, it has more sodium than in one singular Big Mac on average. A Big Mac has 1,000 milligrams, and this one has 1,120 milligrams. That's in-fucking-sane. That's insane.
Eat in the moment. But I think in this case, it's probably more important what's not in them. These noodles have...
Imagine the kidney stones these fucking bad boys pop in.
Very little in the way of micronutrients. Almost no vitamins and minerals or protein or fiber or anything like that for a growing body. Eaten every once in a while, no big deal. Eaten as your national dish, eaten as 30 to 40% of your daily calories, now this is a serious problem. Now, I will say that I looked around and I could see online that families were often combining these noodles with other stuff, with vegetables and protein sources, making it a much more balanced meal, but not all the time. No. If you remember, this is the most popular SKU with kids. So kids are getting calories.
Yeah, kids aren't gonna like put that shit in because it's like they don't know how to cook.
Which is good, but they're empty calories, which is bad. And because these products are marketing themselves as nutritious, these parents are probably not realizing that what they're...
Yeah, guys. It's just salt. Tasty salt.
They're giving their children doesn't have everything that they need to grow. These noodles are just not a healthy food for a kid by themselves. But when I looked at the Nigeria subreddit, look at this. What foods are eaten daily in Nigeria? Wholesome. Some parts, it's pap and akara. Kids going to school take Indomie or
fermented cereal pudding, deep fried bean fritters. Oh, that looks good.
And
like
more. Indomie for breakfast? Yes, some kids take it before school. And when I looked it up, I found tons of recipes for Indomie for breakfast in Nigeria. So kids are eating these for breakfast.
I can't fathom that. I feel like Indomie is like... Indomie or like noodles is something I eat for like a lunch or like dinner. Like I'm down bad, I'm broke, I have nothing to eat.
Breakfast very commonly and probably other times a day as well, which suggests
she's adding a little bit of egg.
A large enough portion of the diet for it to be a truly unhealthy occurrence. And interestingly, Indomie has their stance on Nigerian children very plainly visible. As a brand, we acknowledge the Nigerian child as an integral part of our brand.
I love it when corpos try to sound like they give a fuck about you. I don't know what it is. It makes me laugh.
Success story, as they remain our core brand loyalists and major drivers of the Indomie brand.
Major drivers, the children of the Indomie brand. That's
as a food brand, especially one selling deep fried noodles, I feel like you can't really say that out loud as a food brand in the States anymore. As a brand, you will get attacked. There will be 25 different mom groups in a Washington Post article about you if you admit that out loud. But
you know what? I think that's valid.
Nigeria, let's take a look at Indomie's Instagram.
Ta-da! Yay!
Yay!
Hometown win, find the Indomie tables.
Okay, you might have heard the kids saying, find the Indomitables. I can't say it. I've tried 3 times, so I can't say it. What are the Indomitables? Remember those cereal mascots? This is Indomie.
Oh my god.
Version of that. In their own words on their own website, as a household name in Nigeria, we also wanted to stamp our authority as every kid's favorite brand. So we decided to...
This is so evil. Yeah, they get attached and then they eat the delicious noodles because they want to be superheroes. Big Boy, Swifty. Oh no, they got Taylor Swift up in this bitch. Stretchy, Vision, and Tweenie.
Identify with something they all love. Superheroes. And they have these 5 Indomie superheroes with amazing superpowers that, quote, match all the different nutrients kids get from Indomie noodles.
Which one's the salt one? I bet it's Big Boy. Yeah, I bet Big Boy is the salt one.
One ironically named Big Boy, which is unfortunate given the new obesity rates. They also have an Indomie fan club, an extracurricular activity platform for kids.
Where you go and eat Indomie.
4 to 12 with over 100,000 kids signed up. Basically, they throw events and activities for kids, obviously centered around Indomie, which again, it's great for kids to have something to do, but this whole thing is less about the kids and more about getting noodles into the kids. Yes. Indomie has also been running this hunt and win promo where kids are supposed to hunt for...
I had no idea. This is crazy.
20 unique poses of the superheroes on each pack of Indomie noodles. They can submit 10 poses for another carton of Indomie noodles. Or if they get all 20...
And that carton costs like fucking nothing to make, and it just makes them excited and buy more.
Can win 100,000 naira, roughly $68.
Well, that's 100,000 naira is probably a lot. No.
This kind of promotion is extremely aggressive and encourages kids to eat more and more noodles for a chance to win more noodles or to recoup some of the money they've already spent on noodles.
To all the children of the world, standing tall and trying to grow.
Eat our over-processed shit and get kidney stones, you bitch.
You can have it when it's warm and then sing this song. I love my Indomie.
I love my Indomie.
The lyrics right there. You can have it when it's warm and then sing this song. So yeah, Indomie is creeping on kids hard over there, loud and proud. It's just a different world. Western foods in particular have this sort of allure to them. They're associated with prosperity. People and parents don't at all realize.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point too. Yeah, it was like you fucking don't have any food, so like when you get given food, it's a big deal.
With something like this, they're just like, hey, sweet, thanks for coming to my kids' school and giving them noodles. And again, I know there are going to be people thinking that, this is nice of them. But again, it's not nice of them. We're talking about a country that has dealt with a lot of food insecurity, who's now having its resources utilized by this company to be turned into noodles.
Instead of childhood diabetes like every American child has, you have childhood kidney stones.
Right? The wheat and stuff, it has to come from somewhere. Anyway, my whole point with Indomie was just that this is just one of many ultra-processed food brands going hard on kids in different countries. Sodas are a very big issue. Cakes and cookies and candies are big problems with kids. Fast food is popping up all over in places you really would not expect. McDonald's is still sending Ronald into schools worldwide. And all of these foods are, again, they're not just selling food,
I had a friend that did.
But trying to change the eating habits of the countries that they move into. They're trying to change kids' eating habits to eat more of their food.
And it works!
And therefore, necessarily less of their normal healthy food. Kellogg's, for example, is literally trying to get kids around the world to eat more of their crappy cereals. And they are using the same old time-tested bag of tricks that worked in the West.
Yippee!
Let the fun begin.
Choco Crispies.
Oh, Choco Crispies! Oh, suka! Блядь, как вкусно!
A imaginação agora tem sabor de chocolate.
Chocolate! Oh, Cocoa Pops, tasty!
क्योंकि अब Kellogg's Multigrain Chocos के साथ
Oh my goodness!
دلوقتي الفترة محدودة. تيمز
Arabic too.
20% أكتر. تيمز.
Oh my god.
And you can see over there, you know, Kellogg's isn't trying to bring granola over there with like nuts and seeds.
It's your boy. Don't do it, Tony! Kidney stones and diabetes. Yeah, yum.
And whole grains. No, they're selling chocolate little corn balls. So yeah, when we're talking about childhood...
I kind of want... I literally haven't eaten cereal in probably like forever. Dude, man, I'm actually like, I'm getting a craving. Like, I get a craving thinking about crave freaking cereal. That's crazy.
Mysteriously spreading across the world. I guess it's not so mysterious after all. Kellogg's admitted to changing behavior in Africa. Here they are admitting to changing behavior in China. Kellogg's wants more in China to wake up to cereal. Kellogg's notes that China is expected to be the largest food and
I bet you, because they take breakfast really seriously over there.
Beverage market within the next 5 years, as the ranks of middle-class consumers continue to multiply in large cities. They've been having a go at trying to get China to eat cereal for some time, an analyst said. Or look, here's Kellogg's actions in India. How Kellogg's plans to overhaul breakfast in India.
Dude, they're so evil. They don't even fucking hide it. They're like, by the way, so fucking weird that these people that are fucking crying about cultural appropriation, they're literally pushing this crap on other cultures. Like, I understand introducing it, but they're like, we're gonna overhaul it. They don't need their like normal breakfast. Ugh.
Diverse breakfast preferences have long presented a significant challenge to Kellogg's. This is why obesity is a problem around the world. It's not cereal's fault. It's not noodles' fault.
This is what you should be outraged over, by the way.
These guys appear to be eating a nutritious traditional diet. I think we can change that. And not only can we change that, we're going to come here, we're going to overhaul breakfast. They don't want people to just eat some cereal.
People will maul out on Twitter over a white woman with blonde hair having braids in her hair, but somehow this actual unironic food colonization that hurts people, like actually physically hurts them, somehow matters less. I don't know, man. Like, if you're gonna stand up for, like, say, food imperialism or like colonization and like changing and fucking appropriation, like, oh my god, like, fucking fight for something that's actually like worth fighting for.
They don't want people to just eat some cereal. They want to change breakfast forever. They want to own breakfast.
Yeah, and this is breakfast time is Kellogg's time. Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Destructive consequences worldwide. Childhood obesity has been linked to higher risks of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and some cancers later in life. More obesity equals more chronic disease and death worldwide. And a huge issue here is that these countries are actually really unprepared to deal with the quote-unquote double burden.
Well, yeah, they don't have an infrastructure for it, probably. Like, you get overwhelmed by fucking diabetes.
Of undernutrition and obesity, of starvation. These guys are still busy dealing with starvation, and now they have to deal with obesity. So it's spreading resources even thinner than they already are. Like, these countries just don't have the infrastructure yet to deal with a bunch of people having early onset diabetes. Not to mention the population over there is just so large that, like, pushed any further, pushed to the brink, it would be just a full-on crisis. But regardless of these facts, the food industry does not stop. This is a screenshot taken directly from the Feeding Profit UNICEF report. The unethical practices of the ultra-processed food and beverage industry undermine government action and exploit children.
Well, the government fines them for $2 million, and they're like, oh, that's just a slap on the wrist. We make like $5 trillion a year. Who gives a fuck?
Even in times of crisis. The part I don't understand, okay, like, we're going to talk about this in a second. The part I don't understand is it's a corporation, right? So it's kind of soulless. However, a corporation is made up of people. That's the part I don't get. I don't understand how the individual people working there the normal people contribute to this knowingly. It's just
because it makes them money. What do you mean? Like, maybe not the worker drones that have to, like, you know, feed their family and shit. Like, what else are they gonna fucking do? Like, get another job at a soulless corporation? Like, then you're making not making a difference. This is, like, about the CEOs and then, like, the staff of CEOs and then everyone else beneath them that's, like, the upper management that are like, you know, gotta sell my Indomie to the kids. Give them some diabetes.
It's so odd. The dominance of ultra-processed foods and beverages in children's food environments reflects deliberate industry strategies. It's not an accident. It's not the way things go. It's deliberate and done on purpose. Motivated largely by profit maximization, the business practices of the ultra-processed food and beverage industry undermine efforts to protect child nutrition and public health, willingly and intentionally. I feel like half the time I make these videos, I probably sound like some, like, conspiracy theorist, but no, things are actually that crazy that they sound that level of kooky, but they're not.
Yeah.
This is legit. These unethical practices are extremely widespread, even impacting those affected by humanitarian crises. These companies, they knowingly make the children of the world sick, and they do not care. Actually, not only do they not care, they fight dirty. Comprehensive national mandatory legal measures and policies can shape healthier food environments for
lobbying
children. As in, we can
then they can lobby and push around the governments of these countries that are already poor with massive amounts of money and give a lot of money to corrupt politicians. Yeah.
Different laws and stuff to make the world a better place, but these measures clash directly with the ultra-processed food and beverage industry's core objectives: to expand its market, maximize profit, and meet shareholder demands. The ultra-processed food and beverage industry comprises a complex web of actors that together shape food environments. Powerful transnational corporations, food processing and packaging firms, retailers.
I'm surprised they didn't blame the parents completely for this too.
Food service chains, meal delivery services, marketing firms, and industry trade associations. In addition, the industry funds think tanks, academic institutions, and front groups, entities that are made to appear independent, but which covertly promote their interests. The industry's global network shows that a small number of powerful corporations are at the core, which coordinate the activities of affiliated organizations and interest groups worldwide. It's all one big web that exists to sell you and your children garbage food. Most of you guys know by now that the reason I even started researching this back in the day was because of my own food addiction. I was just curious, why did I struggle to stop eating so badly? Like, why is it so hard to quit something? Why did I feel like a drug addict? But knowing the way these companies operate makes it so much easier to not eat their food, does it not? It's so much easier to be like, yeah, I'm good on that actually. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that UNICEF report. I'll link it if you want to look at it more. And I hope this video helps you eat a little healthier this week. If you'd like more info on ultra-processed
Kellogg owns Nigeria, damn. Yeah, I mean, honestly, these corporations make more than the GDPs of like most countries.